now a real problem that's going to have to be dealt with in the Crown lands. He's taken down Duskendale and Rosby and Darkland and should be marching on Harrenhal with the force that he's assembled.
Cole's victories have only emboldened him. He marches on Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest, it's a tiny coastal keep right across the bay. Rhaenyra seizes upon that.
There are those who have mistaken my caution for weakness. Let that be their undoing.
And plays right into Cole's hand. George always said about Daemon, he's heroic and villainous in equal parts. And that's what makes him fascinating as a character. Part of Daemon's story to Harrenhal this season is having to face and atone for the sins of his past. Laena. Aemond, who he probably had a hand a bit in his creation, and very much young Rhaenyra.
Speak plainly. It's a journey of discovery and unraveling, and it's all beginning to make him become really unstuck.
Daemon is experiencing one of his core injuries. This is the room that has caused him so much pain. It's the seat that he's coveted for so long and was denied. And then the little girl who stole it from him. Before he knows it, he exacts vengeance.
It's the blood of the dragon. They're connected in such a deep way. And the idea that he could harm her is, really alien.
He's still very closed to these intrusive visions, but they start to break down the very carefully constructed walls that he's put up around himself.
Touch late to be stalking about a strange castle.
Alys Rivers is written about quite a bit in the book. She's described as a kind of woods witch that lives at Harrenhal, has possibly been there for hundreds of years. You don't really know immediately whether she is what she says she is.
You are a strange kind of woman.
I'm no woman at all. I'm a barn owl, cursed to live in human form.
She's not afraid of him, and I think that he recognizes that, and that's unusual for him.
Have you experienced anything of note?
She instills a sort of curiosity in Daemon. What is she? Why is she here? Is she influencing me? Am I beholden to her?
She understands things about him, whether because she's just a good reader of people or there's something else going on, and she penetrates him in a way that I think fascinates him, but also makes him very uncomfortable.
I think it's really up for debate whether Alys is shaping Daemon's journey in terms of his kind of spiritual awakening, or if he's doing that himself.
So Christon is marching on Rook's Rest.
The two of you have been plotting without my authority.
I love scenes that involve Valyrian. It's a real language for us. The fact that there are people who speak it at different levels becomes part of their character.
Aemond in this scene is still furious at his humiliation at the brothel. Aemond and Aegon both, of course, learned High Valyrian as children. It's just that Aemond paid a little more attention to it.
That scene is a public execution, in a way. Only him and Aegon can understand it's a public shaming.
He's aware that everyone else is feeling certain resentment towards him, but then when Aemond does it, that really breaks a bit of his heart off.
If there's one rule to take away from House of the Dragon, don't laugh at Aemond, bad things happen to you.
They don't care what I think.
Alicent's just come off of this near assassination attempt with her head spinning, wondering whether she misinterpreted what Viserys' final words were. And then she comes back home and sees Aegon just, stomping around and ranting like a petulant teenager.
My counsel, Cole, Aemond, they pursue their campaign without seeking my aid or even my thoughts. Contrary to many people's beliefs, Aegon is a very sensitive individual. He wants his mum's love. He wants his mum's validation. He wants her to believe in him.
Alicent can coat her words in honey a little bit more to Aegon if she chooses, but the tension is bubbling. Do you think simply wearing the crown imbues you with wisdom?
She's lost a bit of the composure that you're used to seeing in Alicent, and she simply tells him, You need to do what's needed of you, which is
Nothing.
And it's the most devastating, most demeaning, belittling thing that she could have said to her son in that moment.
It's the first time we see Alicent point blank tell him everything that he can't hear, especially the way how fragile he is at that time too, and how he's just becoming more and more naked and more alone. And that's one of the final straws for him, I think, before he fully spirals.
The thing that everybody has warned Rhaenyra against is you're the queen, you're the sovereign, you cannot ride to battle. Aegon has just muscled everybody out of the way and decided to ride into the battle to prove that he was just as much a man as Cole and his brother.
Cole has arrived with his forces. He's facing a tiny keep that can't hope to win.
Rook's Rest is really not a significant strategic advantage. Why would Cole take that risk?
He never intends or cares about the keep. He's there to draw out a dragon.
You must send me, Your Grace. I will meet Cole. Rhaenys chooses to step in, having said for the whole season, we mustn't use dragons, anything but using dragons. If it has to be done, if this action has to be taken, then it's better that she does it than anybody else. Ultimately, she is expendable, where Rhaenyra is not.
What should be a small campaign to take a small keep turns into a kind of watershed moment. Dragon! The first act of full-on dragon conflict. All bets are off, all order is gone. Whatever you thought was important on the battlefield doesn't matter at all. It's basically just a collateral damage site because the real battle is going on over your heads.
Aegon has arrived as the fly in the ointment, so to speak. It's changed the strategy. Now Vhagar and Cole have to contend with the fact that the king is in the fray and they have to protect the king.
Thank the gods! Dracarys!
The question it raises, did he seize an opportunity where he could take 2 players off the board? Or was Aegon just collateral?
When he's plummeting to the earth after being hit by a ball of fire, all of his fears of Aemond's betrayal come true.
Your Grace!
Of all the people affected by this, Cole is the one who's most slammed by it because it was his plan.
Cole has been in battle before. He's seen people die. He's seen people crushed beneath horses. And so Cole had to be particularly touched by the distinct and specific nature of dragon war and how insignificant it made soldiers like him on the battlefield.
He's playing chess and messing with things he can barely get his head around.
It's the sort of moral loss by his own actions. Cole is responsible for it, the worst possible thing that could have happened.
I think it's a Pyrrhic victory for both sides. We lose Rhaenys, one of Rhaenyra's most trusted counselors. We don't really know the condition of Sunfire or Aegon. You just have to regard it as a great emblem and example of how horrible and awful dragon war is and the reason that it needs to be waged with great restraint.